last action of the day at the Osaka shooting range. It's the mixed 50-meter rifle prone final. 8 athletes who have made it through qualifying and have a shot, literally, at Paralympic gold. Been a busy old few days here, but we're coming towards the end of our Paralympic shooting adventure. But that won't mean anything to these 8. They'll be focused on the task at hand in the next half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and their chance to make it onto the podium.
Well, they could be part of history here as this event, the R9, the mixed 50-meter rifle prone SH2, is making its debut appearance at a Paralympic Games. So we don't have a defending champion coming into this event, and that just makes it all the more open and that much more exciting.
Yeah, the nature, the mixture of events at the Paralympics in shooting, always under review, always changing. This is what we have for this afternoon, and it is going to be an interesting one with 2 British athletes making it into the final, a couple of Serbians as well, and also a few athletes we have seen in previous finals.
Well, you mention the 2 Brits and Serbia having an athlete. Well, it's actually Ryan Cockbill, Tim Jeffrey and Zradko Savanovic who they're making their very first appearance in a Paralympic Games final ever. So exciting times for those 3 athletes.
So most of these athletes have helpers to help load, and although this is of course a prone event, athletes who are in wheelchairs, they won't obviously be lying on the floor. They will use that table, which gives them the same amount of stability, really. That's what it's all about, able to hopefully get in the 10 ring more often than not.
Savanovic, we can see, we just got the close-up there. He's competing in his very first final, so nervous times for the Serbian.
Of course, these athletes are experienced campaigners on the international stage for their country, various different routes through to becoming a para sport shooter. Once we get through the sighting times, we will be then concentrating on the task at hand. Remember, we start off with a series of shots, then we end up with the individual shots, and we start to lose athletes. And that is when the excitement, I guess, starts.
All to play for here. 9 rifle events at the Paralympic Games. So some of these athletes will be looking to get another medal to add to their earlier achievements.
About 30 seconds left of the sighting times, and then we will introduce you to these 8 athletes who have made it through to the final of this competition, the penultimate final of our Paralympic Games at the Osaka shooting range. One more scheduled for the last day of competition at the Paralympic Games. These are the 8 who are in the final, and as always, more often than not, I think it's fair to say we have a good spread of ages. 25, 49, the oldest, quite a few in their 40s, so a lot of experienced athletes, and as we were saying, a few for whom this is a very new experience. And as the announcer booms out across this arena, these athletes will be concentrating on staying calm, staying focused. Ryan Cockbill of Great Britain, our first athlete on shooting position A. He's a wheelchair rugby player as well, but this is where he has excelled. Zdravko Savanic of Serbia, the 49-year-old, is on shooting position B. This is the man who got silver in the air rifle prone competition, Vasil Kovalchuk. Next to him, Philip Jonsson of Sweden already has a gold in the 10-meter air rifle standing competition. And here is Tanguy de la Forest, the Frenchman, just outside of the medals, both times in prone and air rifle standing. 5th place for him. He'll be hoping for better 3rd time around. And a gold medal in the air rifle prone. The Serbian Dragan Ristic will be hopeful of repeating the dose again. From Italy, Andrea Liverani, bronze in the air rifle standing competition. And next to him, the second British athlete, this is Tim Jeffrey, who has been in 2 finals already, 8th and 7th, will be hoping for better. Our officials being introduced to those here at the Osaki shooting range. No spectators as such, of course, but lots of support staff from the teams and other athletes and coaches. So there's a good atmosphere here.
Well, as you saw from that introduction, a real range of experiences. But that won't matter now. It's who can keep their cool. The qualification process was long and arduous, and this now starts to speed up as the slate is wiped clean and the athletes are going to be battling it onto the podium. 8 through to this final, but no one wants to finish in 8th.
2 series of 5 shots, and then we will go to individual shots, and after the second individual shot we will lose our first athlete, who has to make their way back to the coaches, and so it continues. Look at the very precise way that he lines up ready for the first shot. All athletes have their little routines, some more elaborate than others, and as you can see, some athletes are holding the rifle. Most, though, use the stand at the front and will concentrate on stability at the back. It's the SH2, so slightly more impairment for these athletes than in SH1.
Well, with this being the prone, that's why they're allowed both of their arms on the table or the stand, whatever, depending on their position, whether they're in a wheelchair or on a shooting stool.
And remember, you can get penalised if your helper loads too early as well before the command, so you've got to trust your helper, make sure you work as a team. They're not there to coach, they're there to help. Well, a matter of seconds before we get underway.
Well, the loaders step out of the way, and now it's down to the athlete. Between them, their sights, squeezing that trigger as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, and we're looking really to be in a decent 10 territory here because of the amount of stability that they do have. And keep an eye on the recoil. If it's coming straight back at them, no wobble, that's a good sign. That's a great start from Ristic, isn't it?
Well, it can only get slightly better than that. Not quite able to back it up with the second shot, but still a strong start for the Serbian.
10-9 for Tanguy de la Forest to get us underway from the Frenchman. This is the Italian, Liverani, who has had a good start as well and is just behind the Frenchman.
Look at that grouping, though. That's going to add to the confidence of the Italian.
You may have caught the pistol competition, and the scoring there much more random because of the lack of stability. Here, if you're hitting in the low nines like Cockbill did in one of his shots, then you are going to suffer. And he is down in 6th, his compatriot Jeffrey in 8th, so not a great start for the British pair. Cockbill, the 31-year-old from Walsall, born in Birmingham, just down the road, of course, and was a torch relay member for the Paralympic Games in 2012, the London Games. Ristic already with a gold to his name and has started really well. Jonsson, the Swede, started playing football, but his illness meant that at some stage he had to stop, became the team statistician, looked for another sport, and found this was very much to his liking.
Well, anyone who likes stats will do well in shooting as well. So many numbers, plenty of calculations to be done.
Well, our first 5 shots are out the way, the first series of 5 shots, and this is how it looks. A good lead, a healthy lead for Dragan Ristic at the top. Tanguy de la Forest with that 10-9 has eased himself into equal second with Andrea Liverani for company. And it is Jonsson at the bottom alongside Savanovic, and then the 2 British athletes with a bit of work to do.
The loaders ready and waiting for their instructions. The next 5 shots, and we'll see if we get a little more disparity between the top and the bottom of the table. This man sitting in 2nd in a comfortable position these early stages.
And both the Frenchman and the Italian starting well and just tailing off a little bit, but keeping in the 10 ring, that's the most important. It will be a high-scoring affair. Ristic, the man to beat at the moment, 0.7 ahead of the next competitor, and he'll keep himself pretty tidy with a 10-6.
He opened well on that last series, so just shows he can collect his thoughts straight away. No deviation there. Liverani, though, hot on his heels with a 10-5. Won't be letting the Serbian get much of an advantage.
Yeah, good start from all the athletes. All in the decent 10s. It is just managing to keep a good run going.
Look at the consistency.
Yeah.
That's just what I was going to say. I mean, I think that's the tightest group we've seen in the whole of the shooting competition itself.
10-6, 10-7, 10-8. I wonder what's coming next. De la Forest, he's shooting very well. 10-5, not quite continuing in the sequence.
Continuing in the group, though. De la Forest's group just as tidy, maybe not quite as high scoring, but really still hot on the heels of Ristic.
Ristic very much a prone man. He was 16th in air rifle standing, but gold medal, of course, in the air rifle prone, where you have this extra stability. This is Jonsson. That's much better from the Swede. Jumps up into 6th place with the 2 British athletes, 7th and 8th. A 10-9 and a 10-8 from the Swedish athlete, the last 2. A bit of tape on the non-focusing eye. And, oh, well, he'd be disappointed with that. Yeah, you can see the reaction. He was doing so well, and that will be a disappointment. Already a goal. Whatever happens, he has a goal to put in his hand luggage to go home. But they're all ambitious athletes, these 8, and they're greedy for silverware. And it's still Ristic at the top, and look at the gap he's pulled out over Liverani. Kovalchuk overhauling the Frenchman. And at the bottom, well, Jeffrey and Cockbill, the 2 British athletes, are separated by Philip Jonsson.
It's very close, isn't it, at the bottom? Cockbill and Jonsson on the same score there. So it's Tim Jeffrey with some work to do in these next couple of shots.
On to the single shots now. 50 seconds to get them away. And after the second one, we will say farewell to our first athlete. Very solid from Liverani. The man from Milan, looking to make the whole of Italy proud of him. I'm sure they're proud of him anyway, but a medal will never go awry. Nice from Ristic, keeping it very, very tidy indeed. And wait to see what the other athletes are able to come up with. 10-4 from Savanovic. Just waiting for the scores to filter through to us. A 10 from Liverani, a 10-2 De La Forest, a 9-9. And at the bottom, it's tight, half a point between Jeffrey and Jonsson, and just 0.2 between Jonsson and Ryan Cockbill. So all three of those in danger of dropping out, I think it's fair to say.
Well, the pressure really on this next shot. Can Jeffrey pull out something very special indeed? He's made it into his third final at this Paralympic Games, but he's only managed a 7th and an 8th, and currently sitting in 8th the third time.
Crunch time then. Taking their time as the clock counts down. 10-2 from Jonsson and a 10-5, and we go to a shoot-off. Jonsson 0.2 ahead. Let's just clarify, it is going to be between the two British athletes. Cockbill with a 9-8, dropping him down into the danger zone. Now, this is a situation the British coach would not have wanted to have seen. Our first departure will be a British athlete. Will it be Ryan Cockbill or will it be Tim Jeffrey?
Well, yeah, not the way they would have liked to start things off in this final. But still a chance for the winner of this shoot-off to scrape back up through the standings.
0.2 behind Jonsson, such fine margins. He shot a 10-2. Let's have a look here. And it's Jeffrey who will continue. It is Ryan Cockbill who is in his first final here in Tokyo, in his third Paralympic Games, ninth twice in Rio. And well, he's made the final at last, but he hasn't lasted too long. And Ryan Cockbill, the man from Warsaw, is the first athlete to leave in 8th place.
I'm sure he will have celebrated making it through the qualification. Just would have hoped to last in the final a little longer. And no doubt he'll head to the stands and be supporting Tim Jeffrey, his compatriot.
Yep, and it went to a shoot-off, but yeah, it's a harsh way to go, isn't it? Found his path to sports shooting after an event at Stoke Mandeville Hospital that deals with a lot of injuries, back and neck injuries. He and his dad built a range in the garden during COVID. It was apparently a very impressive affair and really did help him. But he has made his way back to the coach. 7 are left, and it is Tim Jeffrey, the other British athlete, who is in the danger zone at the moment. Good from Jeffrey. Oh, and Jonsson with a 9-7. And that is not going to be good enough. Jonsson dropping down from safety into 7th place. And he is in a spot of bother here. 0.5 the difference. One more shot before we lose our next athlete. Oh dear. The thing is, going forward, does Jonsson have the ability to put that target behind him and just concentrate on the next one, or will it just play on his mind a little bit? That's the man at the top. Janssen just taking his time, resetting himself. 10.3 is good from Jeffrey. 10.8 or above will keep him in the hunt, but it's not going to happen for Janssen. And a couple of, well, a 10.5 is not bad at all, but it leaves him 0.3 adrift of Tim Jeffrey. And it is Philip Janssen who has to depart in 7th place, the man who got the gold, of course, in the 10-metre air rifle standing competition. No medals for him here today.
Well, congratulations to Philip. What a great performance for Tokyo 2020. He ends the Games being the new Paralympic champion in SH2 air rifle standing, so very well done to him.
Janssen, who had a degenerative illness that meant he started off when he was young playing football, couldn't do that, but found in shooting a chance for him to continue being competitive and to be on top of the podium as he was earlier in the week, but not today. 7th place for Janssen.
Well, that was a nerve-wracking moment for Tim Jeffrey. He still sees himself at the bottom of the table, 1.7 adrift from Tanguy de la Forest. But this man is still out in front and extending that lead.
Yeah, 10.8 and a 10.5. Previous two shots, a 10.6 and a 10.7. So over 2.5 points ahead of his fellow Serbian. The two Serbians, 1 and 2 at the moment. There they are, Ristic, Savanovic, and they are both shooting beautifully at the moment. Two left-handers. This is how it looks. One more shot before we say goodbye to our 6th place athlete. And that looks like it might be Tim Jeffrey of Great Britain. Never know, though. At the top, though, goodness me, look at the gap between 1st and 2nd. It's tight between 2nd and 3rd, and for that matter, 4th. So it might be a tight old battle at the death for the medal places. But Ristic, goodness me, what a performance so far from him. Dominated in the air rifle prone competition, got the gold there, and he's looking very good. But let's concentrate at the other end here. Could be the last part of this competition for Jeffrey. He needs to shoot well and hope for the best, but De La Forest, a 10.4. Yeah, a little shake of the head from Tim Jeffrey. Well, he's been in all 3 finals. He's been competing in 8th in the air rifle standing, 7th in the air rifle prone, and now he has to settle for 6th in this final. So an excellent week's work, just not topped off by a medal.
While competing at just his 2nd Paralympic Games, consistent performance. He'll be looking to go 1 up in 3 years' time, but for now, he'll leave the shooting range.
Yeah, the man who found shooting at the age of 11, thanks to the Scouts. And he has to take his place in 6th.
Well, whilst we were focusing at the bottom, we've had some changes at the top, and this man, Kovalchuk, has moved up into 2nd, dislodging Savanovic, but just 0.2 separating 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, the gap between 1st and 2nd, though, is almost 3 points. It's been fabulous from Ristic, and if he just keeps shooting in the high 10s, he'll cruise there. Kovalchuk doing his best, but another 0.1 of an advantage for the Serbian. Savanovic a 10.4 as well, so he's close as well. Look at the difference between 1st and 2nd. That is a massive amount when it comes to shooting.
It really is, but look at the minor difference between 2nd and equal 3rd. So that's 3 athletes within 0.3.
And the Frenchman will be hoping that somebody stumbles, because otherwise he's going to be the next out. We've got 1 more target to go. Very different stances. The angle from De La Forest, Ivanovic, pretty straight down the barrel, that one. Oh, it's good from De La Forest, but it is excellent from Ivanovic. And it is the Frenchman, another one who, well, how about this, has been in all 3 finals he's been in and has been 5th in all 3.
Consistent, although I'm sure he'd prefer to swap that consistency for one time to stand on that podium. By competing at his 5th Paralympic Games.
I'm sure, yeah, he would love to be consistently on top of the podium. It just hasn't happened for him. And twice he came 4th in Rio. So he is the nearly man in terms of medals, but he is certainly the man, the always man of finals. He has been excellent this week, just outside of the medals. It's a real shame, but he has to make his way back to the coach. And now we have 4, and it is, well, 0.5, half a point between 2nd and 4th. You wouldn't want to call this one.
Well, that's certainly where the excitement stands at the moment, and it just adds to the excitement the fact that whoever is bottom after these next 2 shots, even if it's by 0.1, they miss out on a medal. Well, we're not expecting to see too much deviation with the lead. If Ristic can continue with the incredible accuracy and consistency we've seen the Serbian display, and a 10.2, that's actually a low shot for Ristic, but it's not going to put him in any danger at the moment.
No, especially if Ivanovic is doing exactly the same. Well, everyone's shooting well, and it is very, very tight at the bottom. Liverani just edging 0.1 closer to Kovalchuk. One more shot to decide who misses out on the medals, and it could go either one of 3 ways.
It really could, just 0.4 separating those 3 athletes. And I feel the difference between a spot on the podium and walking away in 4th is going to be minimal.
Yeah, probably is, unless someone feels the pressure. Kovalchuk and Liverani. Ivanovic not out of this battle either. Oh, and we go to a shoot-off again. Well, a second one of this competition.
Well, we said the gap might be minimal, didn't we?
Well, he's chipped away 0.1 on both of the last 2 shots, and so we go to that shoot-off. And Ivanovic also a 10.3, so he was only 0.4 away from being in a 3-way shoot-off.
Well, this really is cruel, isn't it? The winner of this shot will be guaranteed a Paralympic medal.
Couldn't be tighter. Kovalchuk, that's excellent. Liverani just needs to concentrate on his shot. He's going to have to shoot out of his skin here. Oh, and you can see the reaction of his helper behind. Oh, 0.1 the difference.
Well, you wouldn't expect to lose a shoot-off for the 10.7 and to lose a medal from a 0.1 of a shot.
Well, drama here at the shooting range, and he will feel, I am sure, what's happened here quite keenly for a while, but hopefully he'll reflect. Has a bronze in the air rifle standing event. The man from Milan has been outstanding in all 3 finals that he's been in. All-round athlete who excels in shooting as well. But he has to make way in 4th place, which leaves us with our medalists. Very, very much Dragan Ristics to throw away. Look at the gap now. 3 points. Surely that's enough. But just 0.4 between Ivanovic and Kovalchuk, Serbia and Ukraine.
Well, we've seen these 2, so Kovalchuk and Ivanovic, swapping places several times throughout this final. The only position we haven't seen change is Dragan Ristic at the top. Ristic, if he can just maintain that consistency, stay in the 10 ring, he'll be safe.
Oh, well, as you said that, he shot a 9.8. He should be all right, even if he shoots that, given the gap he has. And the others shooting, what, 10.4 for Kovalchuk, 10.4 for Savanovic as well. So it's going to be tight in this last shot to decide bronze, shot number 22.
Well, unless we see something really drastic go wrong for Ristic, like you say, it is between Kovalchuk and Savanovic. Serbia sitting with the points with a 1-2 at the moment. Ukraine in third. That could all change.
10.5 is a good marker, but Savanovic is going to have to hiccup here. 10.2, and he will squeak through by 0.1.
This is one very close competition, isn't it? My goodness, that's a second victory of a 0.1 margin.
And it does mean that Serbia, we won 2 on the podium. Well, Kovalchuk has Paralympic gold in Rio and London, had a silver here in the air rifle prone, and he will take a bronze in this 50-meter event. Excellent from the man from Odessa. Tried table tennis, swimming, para football before he settled on shooting. Another one who's tried quite a few sports. His wife Olga, also a parachuter, and she will be very proud of him, I am sure. Well, we know our bronze medalists. Do we know our gold medalists? I think we probably do. Having said that, there are 2 shots where the narrative could change. Savanovic, well, at 9.8 from Ristic, just giving him a little bit of a glimpse of what might be.
Well, we'd imagine Ristic could still survive a couple of 9s, but with a 10.6, surely this is going to be wrapped up now.
Doesn't hang around, does he? Well, equaling it, a 10.6, excellent shooting from both the Serbians, but one more shot and a massive gap at the moment. Something would have to go drastically wrong for Dragan if he were not to get a second gold medal here at these Tokyo Games.
Well, that's a lead of 2.6. So it would have to be something really quite dramatic for Savanovic to be able to leap ahead and take, I think it would be stealing that gold medal right now.
Well, scores are scores. And if Ristic does do something uncharacteristic, then Savanovic will be very grateful, thank you very much. The man on the left is in possession of that gold at the moment with one more shot to go. Savanovic will have to just shoot well and keep his fingers crossed. Oh, a 10.5. Well, again, both shooting 10.5s. Excellent work from both the Serbians. Congratulations from their helpers. But it is Dragan Ristic, the 42-year-old who got the gold in the air rifle prone. He will get the gold here in the 50-meter competition.
Well, what a result for Serbia. They had nothing to lose as a team with those final 2 shots. And it was the gold for Dragan Ristic to lose, and he hung on in style.
Just 2 targets in the 9 ring, and then only just for him. He has shot exceptionally well, and a world record to boot as well. No wonder there are big hugs everywhere. Look at the look of delight on that face from Savanovic. That is his first Paralympic medal. Was it Rio? Wasn't inside the top 10. Excellent competition, and these 3 athletes have been outstanding. Second gold at these games. That's an amazing performance, and we're just Getting to see Dragan Ristic in the place where he deserves to be, in the middle, in the gold medal place. Savanovic being congratulated by Kovalchuk as well. These are our 3 medalists. Well, just missed out, didn't he, in dramatic fashion on anything more than bronze, but a big smile from Vasyl Kovalchuk. A silver early on in the air rifle prone. He has a good haul of medals. And a first medal in the Paralympic Games for Zdravko Savanovic of Serbia. And another Serbian with the gold. His second gold of these Paralympic Games is Dragan Ristic, who takes gold in the 50-metre rifle prone competition.
Well, wonderful to see both Savanovic and Kovalchuk congratulating and celebrating the man of the moment, Dragan Ristic, 2-time Paralympic champion here in Tokyo.
What a story all these athletes have had. Savanovic with the silver. His injuries came from when he was trying to defuse a landmine, and he said actually changed the trajectory of his life. He found parachuting and found that this sport was just a marvellous release for him. Dragan Ristic, he's been on the international scene since 2019, and what an impression he has made. 2009 rather, and yeah, he's been excellent. Another gold for him. And Kovalchuk, well, a gold in Rio and London, a silver and a bronze here to add to his collection. And just the joy of all these athletes, it's a pleasure to watch.
Well, there we go, confirmation. It was bronze for Vasyl Kovalchuk, who held his nerve in a very tight situation. 0.1 in that shoot-off to make it onto the podium. A great day, though, for Serbia. Zdravko Savanovic winning the silver, and he will be joined on the podium by his teammate Dragan Ristic, who takes gold on the top step. Oh, what a nail-biting finish it was to the mixed 50-meter rifle prone. Just 0.1 separating third and fourth in a shoot-off, and then another 0.1 separating the silver and the bronze. But it was a dominating performance at the top for Dragan Ristic to make it a great end of day 6 with a gold and a silver for Serbia. Fukushima Noriteru will present these beautiful, unique medals designed specifically with Japan's history in mind. Mitsumaru Kichiro will be joining in the presentation. He'll be presenting the mascot Samaiti attached to those beautiful flowers we'll see in just a moment. Vasil Kovalchuk takes the bronze medal. He adds that to the silver he won earlier in the week. He made it through a very nail-biting, tense shoot-off. He was tied on equal third with Liverani, the Italian, but he held his nerve and made it onto the podium. A wonderful performance for the Ukrainian, competing in his third Paralympic Games. And the second medal at Tokyo 2020. What a moment for Serbia. Zdravko Zavanovic winning the silver. What a proud moment for the team from Serbia, but for this man, Zavanovic, his very first ever medal, his first final at the Paralympic Games, and he gets it all the way on to the silver step. And gosh, did he hold his nerve as well. Just 0.1 ahead of bronze. And a big sigh of relief. I think the emotion will start to pour when he gets to listen to his anthem. Thanks to this man. Dragan Ristic. Fist in the air with celebration as he comes forward to collect the gold medal, as he is crowned Paralympic champion for the second time at these games. A world record and a gold medal in this mixed 50-meter rifle prone. The first time we've seen this competition held at a Paralympic Games. And this is the man to win that first title, adding it to his current World Championship title. There'll be some celebrations in the Serbian team camp this evening, I'm sure. What a result for that nation in the Osaka shooting hall. Well, all of these athletes make history. The first medalists in this mixed 50-meter rifle prone. And this man most certainly will go down in history, as he not only gets the first score as a Paralympic record, he made it a world record in the process. Dragan Ristic will be used to these medal ceremonies now. This is his second gold medal of these Paralympic Games. And I think the mask will be on, but the smiles will continue. This moment will go down in history. Paralympic shooting, the R9 event. And its first ever Paralympic medals. Vesel Kovacic, Ukraine, the bronze. Zdravko Savanovic, Serbia, the silver. And Dragan Ristic, that man in the middle, the gold. Well, what a day it was at the Osaka shooting range, day 6, and we saw 2 new Paralympic champions crowned. A great day for India in the 50-meter mixed pistol event. Manish Narwal taking the gold, joined on the podium by his teammate Singh Raj. But it was all about Serbia in the mixed 50-meter rifle. Dragan Ristic making it a second gold of these Paralympic Games, and he was joined also by a fellow countryman. So 2 new gold medalists crowned today. We have one final day of shooting remaining, and we hope to see you back tomorrow.